Hi, this is Stephanie Miller from The Stephanie Miller Show. If only there was an alpha liberal that would like to talk about that. Oh, look, it's Cliff Schecter, everybody. Hi, Cliff.
Hello. Hi, Steph. How are you?
This is why I'm wearing my Kamala Harris t-shirt, because she had a hugely successful trip to Africa that they didn't cover because they were giving a platform to Marjorie Taylor Greene. Hello.
Africa. When would that matter to them, of course? We need to hear from the exact opposite of Africa, the trashiest, whitest. Having Marjorie Taylor Greene on, again, on a more serious note, again, it's every time we take another plunge into another sort of step downward. She was involved, we don't know exactly on what level yet, but we know she was involved in the coup.
Yeah.
So this is, pick a country, right? Germany's the easiest one to go to. They're like, hey, you guys, is Himmler free? Is he free for 60? Is he free? I don't know how to say 60 in German. Is he free for 60 minutes tonight? Let's have him on. And she offers nothing.
Yeah.
She's an absolute moron. She misspells things regularly and has shared conspiracies, and people know all this stuff. But news is supposed to edify. And again, it's just another example of she's become infamous now because she is such a moron, because she's such utter trash, because she's so bigoted. And so now in the age of being famous for any reason is cool, 60 Minutes has her on for ratings. And they give this, again, I can have conservatives on who we can debate. There aren't that many of them left, sadly, but have Mitt Romney on if you want. Have somebody on that I may not like their policies, but actually believes in something. But to have her on, why don't they just combine it with Wrestlemania, which is going on right now?
That was on this weekend.
Yeah. By the way, you doing your own bowlerting on Twitter, you said somewhere Van Jones is telling someone this is the moment Donald Trump just became president. But it does say something about how we normalized. We're at this point where people are saying, oh, this is really going to help him. And it's all the same people that said, oh, getting impeached is going to help him get real. You just reelected Donald Trump. It's the same people that are always wrong.
Of course they're always wrong. There's a core group of nuts in his party who probably were already all going to vote for him anyhow, and maybe among that group it hardens their resolve. But the vast majority of the country, including a whole lot of Republicans, they rejected him by 7 million votes. It should have been more last time, even with Republicans doing everything they can to stop people from voting. Where did the new votes come from for Donald Trump after being indicted?
Somebody starts a sentence with Bill Barr says, I'm like, first of all, why isn't he in prison for all of this, for obstruction, for God knows what? He claimed the indictment of Trump is designed to get him the 2024 Republican presidential nomination. He touched on Trump's indictment, claimed it was only going to help him in... Okay. He said he referred to the indictment as a political hit job based on reports as the indictment remains sealed. Politically, it's going to be damaging, I think, to the Republican Party simply because I think it's a no-lose situation for the Democrats. Again, why are people like this allowed to talk without talking about their complicity and why Donald Trump wasn't charged with this initially?
There are people, and again, this is where the media won't do their job, where if you're going to interview them, and you're going to give them, every time you do, you need to begin with the list of things they've done that have destroyed norms, attacked our democracy. If they begin with, you put up this bogus Durham investigation of the investigation, which is one of the oldest Stalinist tricks in the book, and on top of that, you covered up the reason why the Stormy Daniels thing is happening now is because you should have been investigating that from the Justice Department, but you weren't. You were too busy sitting there frowning with your large jowls. I don't know.
You also
He's
retweeted...
very jowly, though. I'm sorry.
You
That's
retweeted
true.
Lindsey Graham, who said on the way to the DA's office on Tuesday, Trump should smash some windows, rob a few shops, and punch a cop. He would be released immediately. And you said we have lick-lipping Tribble, Lindsay, former JAG, chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee, advocating Trump commit violent crimes that sound a lot like January 6th, including attacking cops. And then they say what they always say. Oh, it's a joke. It's irony. Oh, you don't...
We don't get it because if it was an attempt at a joke, you guys really aren't funny.
Not funny.
But I don't think it wasn't a joke. And every time you say things like that, you poison the dialogue further. And Lindsey Graham is a sitting U.S. senator. Whether he should be or not is a different story, but he is.
Yeah.
And I mean, that just leads to more people saying, oh, Lindsey Graham said that, so it must be true.
So now, am I selling, what do we call it, hopium? That's what people accuse me and AG of selling hopium.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have to say, I know we get like bombshell fatigue, and the fact that he is actually being indicted tomorrow in New York. This classified document thing seems even huger to me. Clearly,
Yes.
It's heating up. Clearly, there appears to be a ton of documentary evidence of action on top of the initial crime.
He admitted it. I'll just say quickly, why did Leslie Stahl, why was she not ready if she was going to ask that question and say, Donald Trump admitted that he would walk through pageant changing rooms to see teenagers changing and see them naked, and that was one of the perks of owning the pageants. Is he a pedophile? And watch Marjorie Taylor Greene try to dumb her way out of that. Right. It was the Jewish lasers were aimed at him, and he had to do what he had to do, and